Hey, what's going on, everybody? How you doing today? My name's Ryan Newpel. Welcome to the Knup Sports Show, episode 161. Man, we are moving up there in shows. Really appreciate you tuning in and giving support to this show. We have a lot of fun. As you know, we like to talk to people in the gaming, sports business, iGaming, sports betting, that world. We love to talk to leaders, influencers, people that are making a difference in that space. And today we have another guest that I think you're going to love to hear from. And I'm excited to dive in, hear a little bit about this guest, hear a lot about the event they have coming up, and kind of go from there. Hey, if you do have questions, put them in the comments. We will address them later. We can come back and take a look at those. But thank you so much for tuning in. Without further ado, I'm going to bring on our guest. Today we have Rory Credland of iGamingNEXT with us. Rory, thanks for joining me.
Pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm surprised we haven't had you on in the past because
No.
Rory, you're quite a veteran to this industry, and I know you've been doing things here. So, first of all, give us a little bit of your background and kind of what led you to iGamingNEXT.
Veteran is probably the right word. Actually, I've been there in the industry for quite some time. I feel quite old when I look at the young people walking around ICE nowadays who've got a $1 million suits on their back. So, but look, I literally fell into it. I was in the financial industry before, a company called Complenet, which looked at regulatory compliance for the financial industry, and one of the founders there set up a company you might well know as Gambling Compliance, I think now called Vixo Compliance. He asked me to come over there, and I sort of fell into the gaming industry really, organizing their events. Unfortunately, recession hit, so was made redundant quite quickly after that. But then, long story short, set up my own business, and then got my main stint was probably at Clarion, where I learned most of my trade, where I am in terms of my experience today. So, going through the conference production route to event director route, and then my now time is at iGamingNEXT, which I'm thoroughly enjoying.
That's awesome. That's an amazing journey and a lot of really cool experiences there. And as you alluded to, you spent a lot of time in the event space and with companies that have been doing great things in the event space. And as you know, we really feature things that are happening in the U.S. I mean, not that I'm biased to the U.S., but I live here, and that's what we really focus on. A lot of things that are happening, and with sports betting really emerging here in the United States, there's been events popping up and things happening, and iGamingNEXT is putting on an event as well, and we'll talk a little bit about that specific event here in the future. But first of all, give me a little, like, a high level, because iGamingNEXT I think of it as a fairly new company. Is that correct? Is it a newer company?
That's a fair statement. I think we were born, probably one of the first companies to be born, or an event companies in the gambling space to be born out of the pandemic, really, I'd say. Pierre and Martin, who set up the company, did very good things probably about 2 months prior to the pandemic hitting, and then obviously everything just went to zero. So they sort of reinvented themselves with a couple of podcasts, which Pierre's incidentally he's doing his 100th podcast very soon. So so 161 is quite an achievement for you guys as well.
So
he's catching up. So yeah, and then as the pandemic slowly subsided, he brought a number of people on, including myself, and we've now decided to launch a number of sort of live in-person shows. So yeah, we're relatively young, I suppose, in events experience, but hopefully with the people we're getting on board, we're able to project ourselves quite quickly into the future. So
yeah,
that's awesome. It's a fun company. Sorry to work for. It's a very young and growing. So it's what I love.
Where are you based out of yourself and the company itself? Where are you based?
So the headquarters is based out in Malta. We're fully remote actually. So we have people in Bulgaria, Sweden, UK, Malta, obviously, and Denmark as well was where one of our former employees was based. So within about 2 or 3 hours of Malta, we're fully remote in that sort of sense. And it's been good to adapt. Interesting getting used to, but it's actually works weirdly better in some sort of ways. Although we still like that connectivity and that interaction, so we do occasionally meet up.
Well, that's amazing. That's cool. I got to sit down with Pierre at the one of the last events that we were at. I believe it was an SBC event or something, and got to sit down and talk to him. And he's like, "Hey, I'm going to do this event in New York City. What do you think?" And I'm like, "Heck yeah, that sounds awesome. That sounds great." And so here you guys are. You're only
Yep.
what now? Less than a month away from iGamingNEXT New York City 2022. You know, we're media partners of yours. We're excited to help you guys grow this. We're excited to attend it and be a part of it. Give us a little bit of information about this event. I'm going to pull it up next to us here, but just give us the rundown of what iGamingNEXT 2022 in New York City is going to be like.
Yeah, so look, I've always been interested in the US space. I think it's always a market that's has always been on the brink of something big and massive. So so when it finally exploded a couple of years back, it was one of those events, I suppose, or certainly subject matters that we wanted to look at. And coming on board with Pierre, we sort of talked about it. The iGamingNEXT, I suppose, database is very much iGaming focused, but also investment focused. We get a lot of investors from the Scandinavian region supporting what we do. So we thought it would be quite smart to bring those or marry those two industries together. And we recognise, obviously, with the amount of M&A activity that's taking place over in the US at the moment, which is just crazy. Every day you see more and more multiples of multiples taking place. We thought it would be quite a good idea to host something in the heart of Manhattan, because we think that's where actually the investment sector is, and also the iGaming sector, although being in New Jersey where a lot of them are based. We thought it'd be quite a good opportunity to bring these people all together and connect and mingle and you know, hopefully facilitate more mergers and acquisitions and connections as the event's going on.
So it's May 12th, May 13th, coming up,
Yep.
less than a month away.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think you've kind of alluded to this just through your comments there that you talked to, but, you know, some people ask, oh man, another event. What's the difference between iGamingNEXT and maybe some of the other events? I mean, what either angle or, you know, what's
Sure.
really the difference between this one and some others?
Well, I think what differentiates iGamingNEXT from a lot of our other parties in the industry is that we're very content heavy. We're very focused on the content, educational part, if you like, and we've sort of brought that to New York as well. It's a 2-day event, very much talking about thought leadership and sort of the future of iGaming and sports betting, and indeed the metaverse as well, because we think that's another third angle that we want to sort of bring in and introduce to the industry. But we're facilitating a lot of discussion and debate, I suppose, around the angle of what's happening in the US, not so much focused on the exhibition side, because we feel that the networking and content is enough as it is to facilitate all that. So that's our main differentiator. And I suppose the second one is that we do have quite a large following on the investment side. So bringing those two industries really close together to meet in person. Yes, they probably do it traditionally at other events, but there's no dedicated event that I suppose focuses on the iGaming and investment and sports betting sector, or under one roof, all in one place.
Very cool. And as we scroll down through the list of speakers here, the list of names and people, I mean, it's like a who's who of this industry, Rory. I mean, you guys did a great job lining up speakers and talent and just people that really understand this space. You know, we've had several of them on our show. We're very connected with a lot of these people already, and we know they know their stuff. So props on that. I'm excited to see where this leads. Great job with that speaker line.
If you asked me 3 months ago, I would have been. If we had this discussion 3 months ago, it'd be a different story. But you know, I don't confess to know everything. I rely on a lot of people in the industry to help talk about and facilitate those introductions. So so this is much more an event put on by the industry as well as ourselves. You know, I think we've even talked about some speaker suggestions. So I think, you know, collectively we work together and we pride ourselves on bringing the best of the best, whilst not necessarily the most famous, but certainly we'd rather those people who are knowledgeable in their field to be able to talk about what's happening. And, you know, we've got quite a broad spectrum of content that we're covering, from, you know, SPACs that some people say has probably outdone itself, but actually has had a bit of resurgence recently. M&A, obviously, looking at the affiliate side of things, blockchain, responsible gaming, which is a very important aspect that you know suddenly come to the forefront in the US. So it's been very hard to actually put 35-minute slots in, because we could be doing probably a four-day event with the amount of speakers, quality lineup of speakers that we've got. And I'm very grateful for everyone who's committed themselves, and you know, it bodes well for next year. So
exactly, that's what I was going to say. Hey, you start with 2 days this year versus 3 days next year, and then all of a sudden you got a 4-day.
No, look, this grey beard, this grey hair is 2 days worth.
That's how I feel as
more.
well. The same way. When I think of events, and maybe this is just me being a social butterfly, I love to talk and connect and be around people. When I think of events, I think of hand in hand. Oh, what are the activities and the social events that go along with it? Do you guys have anything planned as far as networking events or social pieces that go along with it?
Yeah, I think if anything, that's probably up there as one of the most important opportunities for people to meet. Yes, there's that opportunity on the show itself, but they're there to learn content and actually listen to the speakers we've got on board. So you want to also be able to facilitate some sort of networking around the show. We very much want to make sure that the peripheral events, as we call them, are just as good as the content itself. So we do have Yankee Stadium booked, which is invite only session, but we do have that booked, which is very exciting to bring some people together. We've also got our pre-reg, and then on each day we've got something going on in the evening for our attendees to connect and network, and they're pretty much taking place straight after the event, because we recognize New York's very much a buzzing city, and we don't want to keep people too much away from the lovely steaks that probably get delivered in Benjamin's, I imagine, every night. So yes, we're there to facilitate that, and we what we can do, we will put on as much as possible. So we've got an amazing team behind us in the ops team and everyone, and we're actually all going to be splattered all around New York trying to help network and facilitate everyone to connect with the right people.
That's awesome. Well, I can't imagine anybody listening to this show has not already signed up for this. I can't imagine, because most people that I've talked to, in the industry are, oh yeah, I'm going. Are you going? Are you going? And so there's a lot of buzz. A lot of people have signed up, but in that rare occasion that somebody hasn't signed up already, iGamingNEXT.com is where they go to get a ticket. Is that the easiest way to sign up?
Yeah, that's exactly it. iGamingNEXT.com. You'll be able to look, and we've highlighted the New York show on their prime and center piece in the on the website. I must stress that we're doing it with a lot of partners such as yourselves. We've got Morgan Stanley, got Spectrum Gaming Capital, so that there's a lot of people there and around that are helping support this show. So they'll be sending emails out as well. So yeah, that's ultimately the best place, or DM me on LinkedIn.
Yeah, absolutely. How do they DM you? LinkedIn? Where's your best channel?
LinkedIn, and if they have my number, call me. But
there you go.
But yes, no.
Private for now. But that's awesome.
I'm not going to give my number out just yet. So
not on the show. Okay.
No.
No, we'll put those links to sign up. We'll put those in the show notes, and of course on any of our media sites that we have out there, we have banners and links and all of the above out there to sign up as well. So. That's exciting, Rory. I'm really excited for this event. I think it's going to be awesome. I think it's really cool what you guys are doing, and to see the growth that you guys have had from kind of startup over COVID now to now. I'm really excited to see where you guys head in the future.
We're very much excited about it, and we're already planning 2023, so that bodes really well for us. And I'm looking forward to seeing you on your session as well, which you succumbed to saying yes to. So I think your brother actually.
Absolutely. I was going to say, my brother gets the honor of moderating a panel, but I'm still hopeful I can be there. I got some family things I'm dealing with, but I am hoping I can get there. Regardless, he'll be there supporting it and representing our company, and I know he's moderating a panel for you guys. So
exactly. So we look forward to all that. So look, if you can make it, we would love to have you there and showcase.
Hey, tell us a little bit about, just real quickly, and you may not know, but about the future. I mean, you already said looking forward to 2023. I mean, is this just going to be an annual, New York-based event, or are you looking to possibly expand in the United States?
Yeah, look, I think the question is yes, we are looking to expand. I think as and where that is, we don't know yet, but we're very much focused on the organic growth. We don't want to just put on an event for the sake of putting it on. We'll put it on if the customer or if the industry would like us to put it on, but we were constantly doing our research. We're definitely obviously doing New York next year. There are obviously other areas that we're looking at in the US that may facilitate next working event, so we can build up through that way. And there's various other events around the US that we might want to sort of have our own presence at as well. So we're talking to a number of parties. Florida might be one of them. So
I mean, I've heard Orlando's a decent area to have. Just saying, I've heard it's a decent.
You never know. You never know. You never know. We if some of us had our way in our organization, we might be partying all over the place. But
it'd be a little warmer as well.
Yeah, exactly. The pre-reg, we do a pre-reg weekend.
Yeah, I'm wearing my Bet's Florida shirt today, so I'm hopefully that we can get betting Florida legalized here sooner than later.
Yeah, I mean, look, wherever it takes us. So we're very interested in the market. With, like I said before, it's an upcoming market. Obviously, you guys doing a lot over there. I think we actually originally met, didn't we, when you hosted a gathering in Florida? I think that's where I first came across your name. That's where we first touched base. So there's obviously, where those things happen, we will look at it. But yeah, we're planning a few things, but at the moment we just focus on getting New York out of the way, and next year. And I love your enthusiasm. It's good. It's good. So.
Awesome, cool. Well, Rory, I'm gonna let you go. I know you're a busy guy. You got to get out there playing, get going. But any last words? Anything that we maybe missed to chat about? Anything else you want to say?
No, look, I think we covered most of it. Look, we're excited to host this event. I think it's hopefully be one that's going to be around for many years to come, and we look forward to seeing both yourselves or your brother if you can't make it, but yourselves and other industry peers there. And I think it's going to be an exciting time. So now it's the final stretch to get there, and we're like one of those swans above water where it's all fine above water, but we're panicking below. But no, we're all good. It's I wouldn't change it for the world. So it's all going good.
Well, I wish you the best of luck. I really appreciate your time here today. This was a great chat, and I'm looking forward to seeing what happens in the event. So thanks for joining me, Rory, and anything I can do to help you, definitely.
You've done plenty. You've done enough. Thanks.
All right, my friend. We'll talk to you soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye.
Hey, that was Rory Credland of iGamingNEXT, episode 161 in the books. Hey, iGamingNEXT, New York City, 2022, May 12th and 13th. Sign-up links will be on this post. We'll have a show notes post that you guys can sign up for, or go out to iGamingNEXT.com. Really appreciate you guys tuning in, giving us support, listening to Rory. If you have any messages for him, make sure to DM him. If you can't get a hold of him, I'm Ryan Newpel, or at Noop, out on all the channels. You can find us out there as well. So until next time, stay safe. I hope to see you at iGamingNEXT 2022. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.